and welcome to Chair Interval Training, brought to you by Community Access Yellow Springs, that's Channel 5 on Spectrum Cable, and the Yellow Springs Senior Center, and me, Lynn Hardman, Silver Sneakers instructor and longtime Yellow Springs resident. Hey, won't you get a few things together so we can exercise? But before we do, and especially any new exercise program, please consult your physician. If anything hurts, please stop. You can always reduce the range of motion to suit your body's abilities today, and or substitute a different movement, or just do your best and then take a rest. We're going to use a sturdy chair today, as always. And today, if you have a jug you could fill with liquid, make sure that the lid's on tight, stow that underneath your chair, as well as some water. It's been very hot as I record this, so we'll want to stay hydrated. And a rubber band. Okay, that's all you'll need, that and a great attitude. Whether you're going to move in your chair or on your feet, do your best. Go at your own pace and start gradually. Alrighty. Okay, so you can start with just an easy, slow march. Your feet don't even have to leave the ground. You could just pretend you're walking. Or you could pick it up a notch and march to the tempo of the music. Again, your feet could just stay on the floor and pedal, articulating through the toe ball heel of the foot, ankles, knees, hips, and the lower spine, as well as the shoulders, are all moving here. Use your best posture because it makes our movements easier, and that is a really important goal of this class. It makes our breathing easier, and that is another really important goal of this class. And another goal is to reduce our risk of falls. So we work on the ABCs, agility, balance, and coordination, as well as strength and flexibility, because those things have been shown with robust research to reduce our risk of falls and improve our everyday quality of living. Let's march our feet out wide. I need you to be close enough to your chair so that you can use it as your balance check. By the way, check around your chair and see if there's anything that might slip, trip, or cause you to fall. Tuck it under or get it safely out of the way. Now I'm going to come to the front of the chair so you can see my feet, but you stay right behind yours or right next to it. And let's just rock, flexing gently, again through our hips, knees, and ankles. And you can push off on the floor, warming up those feet. And pull the shoulder up closer to the earlobe. As we warm up gradually, we're noticing if anything feels funny, if anything hurts. Don't push it. The old adage was, no pain, no gain, but we know that's not true. In fact, I like to say, train your body, don't strain your body. Let's see how it feels to open and close the chest today with your arms low. If that's fine, a little medium. And you can lead with your thumbs as you go back and kind of turn the pinkies in towards each other as you come forward. It got up to near 90 today as I'm recording this. I had to take a break several times when I was out in the garden. Come in and have some water. Let's rotate through the body and reach across. By now, if you've been exercising with me regularly, you've probably got some good ideas of movements that you like to do for your body to warm up. So you are encouraged to use those. But the whole idea is to move rhythmically, raise your temperature of your body 1 or 2 degrees, get the synovial fluid flowing in those joints, lubricating especially your shoulders and hips. generally limbering up. Also, I like to use the warm-up to show a couple patterns. So let's just march it out. We've done these before, but I don't want to assume that this is something you know. You might be joining us for the first time. So we do like intervals of about 7, 8 minutes to 10 minutes of aerobic activity and strength activity. So here's an example of one of the aerobic patterns that we use. I call it 2 and 2. We're going to take 2 steps to the right and then lift our right knee. 2 steps to the left and lift our left knee, our other right knee. Simple, right? Simple left. Now, you can tap your toe down or use your chair for your balance check if you need it, but the whole object of this program is to build better balance. So if you don't need to, you've got it there if you do need it, but try to float that foot in the air while you're doing 2 plus 2. We can also do 4 little steps and balance for 4. 4, 3, 2. Let's try it one more time. 4, 3, 2, and 4. Balance kneeless. Got it? So that's one pattern. We might even do it at a different speed for those that are feeling like that'll work for them today. The other pattern that we'll do is a single, single, double. If you're right next to your chair, again, you can use it as your balance check. We're gonna, this time, widen out our stance and draw our heels back towards our hips. And we're gonna do a single leg, double. Single, single, double. Again, if you don't need your chair, you know it's there for you, so see if you can do this double, balancing, single, single, double. Single, single, double. Good. Later on, we might try it with different parts, maybe a hip raise, double, single, single, double, and we might even go faster. I want to show you. Your feet can stay on the ground. Single, single, double. Single, single, double. Kind of like a penguin. So that's a little preview of stuff to come. Hopefully it got your heart rate elevated a tiny bit. Got your muscles and your blood a little bit warmer. Oops, I hit a button. All right. Let's get our feet really close to our chair and transition for some seated dynamic stretches to continue to warm up. And you can hover or come up and down a few times, see how everything feels while you squat, or you can just get seated. Couple reminders, every time we get something down low, please engage or brace with your abdominals to protect your back. And step to the side and brace with your arm and lean to the side, and this is so much better for your lower spine. Unless it doesn't work for you, and then you gotta do it the way that works best for you, pain-free. We'll take frequent breaks for hydration. I encourage you to do that all along. And then we'll also take some intensity checks. So we'll use a scale from 1, lowest intensity, to 10, maximal intensity. 10 is way too high, in fact, dangerous. 1 won't give us much benefit, so let's shoot for a happy medium of 4 to say 7 or 8. An 8 would feel like, I can do this, but I'm not sure how much longer. All right? So, sitting near the edge of your seat will allow you to move. And engaging your abdominals will allow you to elongate your spine for better movement as you stretch out your legs. Right and left. Pull that navel in and pull the crown of your head up, up, up. And stretch out that opposite arm. We're just tapping our heel out in front, but if it feels good to you, see how it feels to Show me the sole of your foot. Lifting your fingers, lifting your toes. Woo, it's warm today. Our heart rates may go a little higher when we're working, exercising in a higher temperature, so be mindful of that and adjust. We're going slow enough. Let's do a little flex point flex with the right and the left again, please. These stretches are to help get us ready. Let's take that right leg and extend it. Support with the left knee right on top of the ankle. And the left arm on that left lat. Inhale, and as you exhale, slowly, gently hinge forward. Look forward, reach forward. And lift your toes and your fingers up to develop that hamstring calf stretch. Hello. If you want, you can wiggle it side to side. And push the sole of the foot down. Sit tall, pull the navel in and stretch the knee toward the chest. Circle that ankle. Ankles need a lot of attention. They're important joints for our balance. Other way with your foot circle or ankle circle. Good. Let's stretch that left leg out. Supporting on the right lat. Right knee stacked nicely over the right ankle. Hinge forward with a long, strong spine supported on your right lat with your right arm. And reach your toes and fingers up. Good. See if you could wiggle them out and in or wave with your foot and your hand. Excellent. Now push the pedal down towards the ground. And sit tall. Pull the navel in to support your lower back. And if this pulling the knee toward the chest doesn't suit you today while you circle your ankle, you certainly could do this with your foot on the floor. But do limber up that ankle. And sitting tall, take a nice deep breath. Exhale and interlace your fingers and curl your spine. Inhale, up, up, up. And then hinge your elbows and reach for the backs of your shoulder blades, lifting your elbows, keeping your neck neutral, or as if you balanced a glass of water on the top of your head. Good. Now open up those wrists, circling. One last stretch. Walk those toes out. Knees and toes point the same direction for a good health of the knee joint as we gently get a hip adductor stretch. And maybe a shoulder stretch. Ooh, that feels good. And then the other. Excellent. Now walk those feet in. And let's tap those toes a bit. Take them out and in. Excellent. Everything should feel a little bit more ready to move. And if you're ready to move on your feet, we're going to transition to do some aerobic patterns. Dig your heels in, all 10 toes. And if it feels funny or you feel out of balance or dizzy or just not quite right, something's hurting, you can do this movement from your seat. We're going to position ourselves behind the chair so we can do that 2+2 or 2 and 2 pattern. Double check your stuff, make sure it's tucked under your chair or out of the way, not under your feet where you might trip on it. We're going to take 2 side steps right and 2 right knees. 2. Yes. And 2 to the left. Good. If you want, you can add an arm pushing to the right, pushing up. Pushing to the left, pushing up. If you don't need to touch your chair for that balance check, make sure you can see it with your peripheral vision. That way, whoops, I messed up my arm coordination. That way, it's there for you when you need it. Some people think it's a shame to use an assistive device like a cane. I think it's a shame to not use an assistive device when it is needed. And we have to practice and learn how to use things. Right? There's a wrong way to use crutches. There's a wrong way to use a cane. There's a wrong way to use a walker. And you have to practice to get it right. I'm not saying that everybody should get one and practice right away. But you'll know when it's time. And it might be just a short time while you're recovering from an injury. Okay. Woo, it's hot in my house. Hopefully you're keeping your home cool. All right, if you wanted to use two hands, you could. That would add to the aerobic demand of this exercise. When we use both arms, we're actually lifting more weight. And when our arms go overhead, it's a bigger demand on the heart. But don't be afraid to use your chair if you need it. All right, let's march it out. How's your breathing heart rate and your intensity level? If you could assign it a number from 1 to 10, where are you now? 1 is like, I'm barely doing anything. 10 is, wow, can't even talk. Hopefully you're doing fine. Let's do a different movement on the ends. Let's try that hip abduction, where we keep our foot dorsiflex and we'll open it out to the side. Ready? We're going to take 2 steps right and 2 right hip abductions. 2 to the right. Keep your torso tall. Pull your navel in. You can add that arm over. And then like you're flying with one hand. Or if you're feeling like it works for you, you can use both hands. But stay where you can see and use that chair if you need it. Try to balance an imaginary glass of water on your head. Hold the navel in and breathe. Yes, I need to be reminded to breathe sometimes too. Good. Well, my hips are getting tired because we're using a long leg, so the hip muscles are working hard. Let's see if we can do one more on each side, or 2 to be specific. Woo! If you need to get a little stretch there, do that. Soft, pushing into that left hip. Soft push into the right hip. March it out. Keep moving at your best. Rest when you need to. Now let's see. Let's see if we can do this pattern with a hamstring curl. That's when your knee stays low and you kick your butt, so to speak. But let's do it in 4s. So we have to balance longer. We'll have to adjust and take 4 smaller steps when we go to the right. Ready? 4 steps. You can go low if you like. Now, 4 hamstring curls. Rowing if you like. 4 side steps. You got your chair. 4 hamstring curls. I'm going to row. 4, 3, 2, 1. You can do whatever you want to with your arms. I'm going to open them when I go sideways and then row when I use my hamstring curls. Okay, that feels normal, natural to me. You do what feels natural to you. Don't go too far away from your chair that you can't reach it when you need it. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's put a coordination challenge on this and do bent straight, bent straight, bent straight. Over for 4. Good. Bent straight, bent straight. Let's try that again on both sides. Ready? Bent straight, bent straight. Excellent. Here we go. Bent straight, bent straight. March it out. How are you doing? Woo! Let's get a little breather. Maybe stretch our calves a tiny bit. Assess our intensity. How are you doing on our scale of 1 to 10? You feel like moving a little bit more? If so, we're going to do it one more way. Let's walk that right foot or the other foot back. Gently pasting that heel on the ground and leaning forward. Leaning forward to get a little calf stretch. Speaking of calves, let's use them. We're going to stick with those 4 side steps, and then we're going to use our lower legs and our upper legs to do a little up to our tiptoes. Let's go for 4 to the left. Now on our tiptoes, 4 times. You don't need to use your arms if you don't like, but don't get too far away from your chair. If you want to use your arms, let's try a side stroke. And then up with our hands, if you like. 4, 3, 2. That gives me an idea about what to do next week. All right, we can do this at tempo, in time with the music. If you're tired, you can keep your hands down. That's fine. Get up on those strong lower legs, strengthening feet and ankles. Excellent. So we're going at tempo. Let's try to do it double time. 4 little quick steps. 4, 3, 2, 1, up. 3, 2, 1, over. Up. Quick. 4, 3, 2, 1, up. Over. And up. Again. Please, if you please. Woo! All right, that got my heart going. How about you? Well, let's slow it a bit before we sit for some strength work. Catch your breath. Breathing in through your nose, ideally. Sometimes we get allergies, though. And then exhaling through your mouth. And then slow your roll. And see if you can slow your breath. And then we'll come transitioning for our strength work. Bring your heels real close to that chair now. Why? If your knee or your hip gave out and you lost your balance, you'd be right there in your chair. And that's important. We don't want you falling. Well, you know there is a guaranteed way to prevent any chance of falling. And it's called never getting up. But that's not really an option that most of us would choose. So, if we want to strengthen our hips and our thighs and our core, we're going to learn to do our best squats. Digging our heels in close to the chair, keeping our hands ahead or crossed over your chest for more difficulty. We're going to squeeze our hips forward as we come up. Reach your tailbone back as you go down. Think of squeezing your gluteals forward and together. And try not to let your knees knock together. As I've said before, you can experiment with the width of your stance. You could try them a little wider, your feet. See if that makes your knees and hips and or feet feel better. If not, you could try a little tiny turnout. Not too much, and only if it suits your body's comfort and abilities. I'm ready for a drink of water. I hope you are getting one too. And reminder, do it nice and steady, mindfully. Stepping to the side, leaning to the side. We're going to use our band first. Got a hair that's tickling me today. And my chair is kind of wiggly. I need to tighten up my act here. All right, sitting at the front edge of your chair, we're going to use our tube to do a variety of exercises, starting with one handle in each hand and stepping on with both feet. Maybe 8 to 12 inches between your feet. Pass the handle to the other hand so that you are resting your hands down and you have an X on the fronts of your shins. Draw the handles close to your tummy. We're going to do a lower body exercise first and then an upper body. It's your choice to put them together or do one or the other until you feel like doing neither. That's our goal. So shoulders down and back. We're going to just step out as far as we comfortably can, keeping our body straight and tall with that imaginary glass of water on the head. Right and then left. As you come back in, resist the tension of the tube. Don't let it boing. Push it out with a little power. Bring it back with slow control. Exhale as you push out with power. Inhale as you come back, slow and controlled. Or just breathe at your own pace, but don't hold your breath. This is hip abduction. If you're keeping your body tall, spine long and strong and straight, you're also getting some good core control, stability. So, let's stop with the legs. Here's the upper body, upright row. Shoulders down and back. Lift, keeping your hands close to your body and lower. If you have a particularly long tube or it's getting kind of stretched out, you could reach down closer to your feet and get some more resistance that way. Inhale or exhale, don't hold your breath. Perhaps you'd like to put them together. Hip abduction and upright row. Other leg. The upright rows could be done on their own. The hip abduction can be done on its own. If you have something that's causing your shoulder pain, you could do just one arm. That's fine. If you could do both, do your best. Breathe and then take a rest. I'm about done with that exercise. All right, moving on. Make sure your hips are right at the front edge of your chair. Palms up. Still have that crisscross on your band. Anchor your elbows and upper arms to your body. And let's try tucking our tailbone under, zipping up some imaginary tight pants and leaning back, and then sitting forward. Keep the back of the neck long. Keep the shoulders from hunching. And feel the work you're doing in your abdomen. So these are abdominal slides. If you want to make it harder, you can get your feet out a little further, really getting at the front edge of your chair. All right, let's stop with that. Here is the upper body exercise. Bicep curls with the upper arm and elbow anchored to our body. Breathing. Now, if you want to put them together, with your arms closer to your shoulders as you lean back, you have made this abdominal exercise more challenging. So go slow. Double up on tucking your tailbone under to brace with the abdominals. Pull your navel in towards the spine. If anything hurts, stop. just do one of the other movements. And when you've done your best, it's time to rest. Woo! All right, let's do a little ankle exercise. We haven't done this in a while. Take your feet out, lots of space between them, and then make sure you're keeping that tube on there, but toe in somewhat and then out. Sort of circumduct your feet as if you're conducting music. If you have really strong ankles, you might have to have a lot of space between those ankles. And just do your best. I find myself slouching as I watch my feet, so I'm going to remind myself and you out there, let me see your best posture. I wish I could. I will soon enough. All right, so even if your ankles don't feel like they're being truly challenged, this is a great mobility and stability exercise for ankle strength. Bring your feet right underneath the knees, uncrisscross your bands. We're gonna do one last exercise. Rotate that, wrap your hands close to your shoulders and make sure the band is on the inside aspect of your arms, not on the outside. We're gonna push and rotate. Pull the navel in, working shoulder, chest, abdominals, and obliques. If you want, you can stretch that leg out behind you to add resistance. I really kind of already have plenty of resistance for this shoulder press. All right. If you like, you can do 4 more or stop when you are ready. 3 more. 2 more. Woo! All right. Make sure you release the tension on that tube before you step off so it doesn't snap up and hit you in the chin. We're going to hang that out of harm's way and make sure you mindfully step to the side, lean to the side as you get some water. Woo. The main reason we're getting the water when we're in the chair is that it's not advisable to dip your head below the level of your heart, especially when you're exercising intensely. And it's a little kinder, gentler on our lower back. So, all right, we're going to move on to our pattern that's all about balance and agility. If you noticed with the last one, we had some balance and then we moved fast. Those two things together while we're being aerobic really help our brain, body, and balance because it's working everything together. So there's coordination involved as well. Now, what if you're staying in your chair because you have orthopedic concern or a balance challenge today? These hip flexors will get tired from doing a single, double in the chair. So you're going to have to be creative and pull your heels back sometimes. And just do your best to move if you're in the chair, or stretch your heels in front and do your best to move, okay? If you're getting up on your feet, you're also going to have to be mindful. If you get dizzy or out of balance, to come back to your chair. And I need to check my time here. Doing good. Okay. Oops, my fault. All right. Let's start over here on the right side of our chair. Double check your area. Make sure nothing's under your feet except for your good sturdy shoes. It's never a good idea to do intense exercise barefoot, particularly if you are diabetic. You need the protection on your feet. All right, well, let's get started with our knees. Single, double. Single, double. If you want, you can tap that knee with the opposite arm, but if you need your hand on your chair, you've got it there. Single. Keep your head and chest high. Don't lean over to reach your knee. It's more important that you use your best posture and imagine that glass of water on your head. Not a good thing to practice, actually. Just imagine that. Good. So using our opposite arm helps us to raise our knee a little bit. Also, it's working on that cross crawl or oppositional pattern, making new, stronger junctions, neuromuscular junctions. Ooh, and my hip flexors are getting sore. So let's just march it out and try this perhaps behind our chair with hamstring curls. If you start a little wider and start in an athletic little mini squat, that'll help you to use your hamstrings and your glutes. We'll go single, single, double, starting with the right. Single, single, double. Single, single, keep your chest and shoulders high. Single, single, double. Got your chair if you need it. There's no shame in that. You can also tap your toe down. Work as intensely as you like. You can make it big by squatting lower, squeezing with that heel closer to the hip if it feels good. Or even, if you want, arms overhead. And that again adds to the amount of work that your heart and lungs would need to do to deliver the blood to those working muscles. If that's not in your repertoire, don't worry, just make it smaller. Working on our own pace within our own abilities. Really, the thing that matters most is your regularity. Doing something very frequently, most days of the week. Whoops, sounds like my cat knocked something over, but everything's cool. Okay, I'm getting tired of this move. Let's do a bent straight. Single, single, bent straight. Oh, that's new. Working different muscles. Single, single, bent straight. Single, single, bent straight. That's a little harder. I have to think a little, and that's a good thing. Bent straight. Let's do one more each side. And other side. Woo! And march it out. How do your hips feel? I felt that here. And a little bit in the backs of my legs. How's your intensity? Can you talk? How are you on that 1 to 10 scale? If you want to stretch your hip, fine. Hopefully you're making it to a 3 or a 4, not higher than a 7 or 8. All right, let's take that single, single, double, and let's bring it. I'm going to come to the front of my chair, but I need you to stay behind so I can show you what I'm doing with the knees. Single, single, double. We could do this at tempo at the side of your chair, or actually at the side of your chair, so you don't jam your knee into it. So at tempo, this is what it looks like. We can lift our foot off the floor each time. If we want to go double time, we might keep our feet on the floor on the singles. I'll show you, and you can join in if you feel like it. Single, single, double. Single, single, double. Single, single, double. I feel like I'm off the measure, but just keep moving it to the best of your abilities. Do you want to try it even faster? Single, single, double, single, single, double, single, single, double. 1, 2, 3. Single, single, double. Woo! I'm getting hot. Getting a little breathy. How about you? Woo! relax, catch your breath. Now, you're gonna be behind your chair for this one. We're gonna do that same tempo change with single, single, double. Slow, tempo, and then faster, if you please. This time we're gonna use our wide stance, soft athletic, triple flexion, and hip abduction. Single, single, double. Single, single, double. Double. Now you can use your chair or tap your foot down if you need. One more at this slow speed. Now a little faster. Single, single, double. Single, single, double. Single, single, double. You could just keep your feet on the ground on those singles. If you wanted more, you could add your arms overhead. Good. Single, single, double. You could stay at this speed. Or if you like, you could try it double time. Single, single, double. Again, your feet don't have to leave the ground on the singles. Just move them fast. I'm too hot. How are you doing? All right. Let's try this one more way. Coming back to our chair, let's try it with our hamstrings. So you could be behind your chair, but let's try it with double, double, fours. And when we get to the fours, stay where you're at, I want you to try circling that hamstring curl. If you've ever done, well, they called it a cowtail if you did the Charleston or dancing from the roaring 20s, the roaring 1920s. Okay, so we're gonna do double, double, fours, wide stance, double hamstring curl, and then four. Swirl it, keep the knee down. Double, double, and swirl, swirl. Harder to balance, I think. Single or double, double, swirl, 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 swirl. Double, double. You could swirl your hands if that helps you. Double, double. 4, 3, 2, 1. Can you tell I'm concentrating? It's hard to count. 4, 3, 2, 1. Double, double. 4, 3, 2. Let's try one more each side. Double, double. 4, 3. I'm going on a roundup here. Double, last set. Double. Circle, circle, circle. Woo! When we're going in circles with that leg, we're also using different muscles and having to control our stability by engaging our core. I hope you felt that. As we transition to our chair again for another set of strength work, take an opportunity here to just catch your breath. Stretch anything that feels tight to you, or just get seated. While we're on our feet, I'm going to take an opportunity to do a one-legged toe raise. I'm going to use the leg closest to the chair, put my weight almost entirely in that, and come up to the ball of the foot or the toe on the other. Come up as high as I can on that tiptoe, and then down into a flexion. Up. If I could do that without touching my foot on the ground, I'm going to get more resistance, more strength training for that foot, that left foot in this case. Just one more. That's hard. And let's try the other. If you like, you can have your kickstand down, but try your best to keep your body straight and tall as you come up as high as you can, and then down into a little flexion, up, and then down. So we're doing a little single leg squat and then a single leg toe raise. Woo, or calf raise. And ooh la la la, I can feel that. So if you want to get a little stretch before we sit, please do. I'm very glad that I've been able to reach folks through the medium of Community Access Yellow Springs. And I'm very glad I've been able to reach folks via their YouTube channel. But I'm also very glad and looking forward to, hopefully sometime in June, being able to do some in-person classes. I still don't know yet, but as soon as I do, I'll be sharing that information. So, you might choose to continue doing your exercise at home. That's great. So my plan and my hope is that we could offer it in person and via those Community Access Yellow Springs channels, whether it's Spectrum Cable TV or the YouTube channel. We'll see. And likewise, from my Yellow Springs Senior Center classes, maybe I'll continue via Zoom and in person. So those are things that I'm considering. I hope you consider a drink of water. It's been a tough year to plan, wouldn't you agree? But things are beginning to open up, and we really still need to keep our guard up, literally sometimes with the mask when we're in just like close distance and larger crowds where we want to protect ourselves and others, whether we're vaccinated or not, from spread of the disease. So we're going to use our weight, this jug. If you have hand weights, that'll do. If you have no weights, that'll do as well. Just do the motions to the best of your ability. Okay, I just looked at my notes, but let's try our side lateral flexion. With your hips right close to the front edge of your chair, sitting tall, imagine a curtain in front of you, and just let that weight hang on your right side in your right hand. Put your left hand on your waist and lean down, maybe tap the weight or come down as close to the floor as feels comfortable to you. And then sit tall and lift an imaginary suitcase. Lower it, hold the navel in and breathe. You can feel the obliques and the quadratus lumborum if your thumb is closer to your spine. Strengthening and lengthening. Lengthening against the force of the weight as we lean. And then strengthening, contracting as we sit tall. We're strengthening the obliques, the quadratus lumborum, the bicep, and the upper back and shoulder with this imaginary suitcase lift. All right, we will do the other side, but let's do an exercise in between. Scooching halfway back in your chair, let that weight dangle in front of you. Reach your tailbone back and your nose forward a bit. Pull your navel in and see how it feels to dig your heels in. If it feels like you don't want to get up, you're right. Keep digging your heels and all 10 toes in. If you want to stand or not, we're going to do a little bit of a lift or a medium lift or drive the hips forward and up to about chest high. Power up, control down, keep the head and chest lifted. These are our kettlebell swings. I can feel the liquid, the water in my jug sloshing a bit. I feel like I should have checked my lid and made it tight because a wet floor is a slippery floor. Do a couple more if you feel like it. This is a huge exercise. Whew. All right. Come back to the front of your seat. It's so exciting to be here. We're at the edge of our seats. Pull the navel in. Hang to the left. Right hand on your right side. Imagine a curtain in front of you and don't disturb it as you lean and lift. Breathe. I can tell my intensity level has been a little higher than normal. I'm a little breathier because it's hot. I didn't want to turn on my AC yet. Don't be too stingy like me. As we age, our thermoregulation systems, our body's ability to cool itself, aren't what they used to be. Overheating would be not a good thing. So that's why we do frequent hydration breaks. Hold the navel in and breathe. All right, we're going back to the middle again. Scooching our hips to the back half or so of the chair. Heels touching the front legs of the chair. This time, tailbone back, nose forward. We're going to do an upright row, but let's dig our heels in and see if we feel like doing the squat thing. If not, you're going to do the upright row, lifting the elbows higher ideally than the wrists and lowering. Inhale up, exhale down, or vice versa. And if you want to combine them, more power to you. Squeeze your hips forward as you come up, reach them back, but keep your head and chest high. Keep the weight close to your body. Our shoulders are at greater risk if the weight gets further out. Breathe. If you feel like stopping, that's great. That means you reached the goal of momentary muscular fatigue. And if not, do a couple more. Wow. We're getting a whole body workout today. All right, one more thing. We're going to work on the core again. And if you like, we'll do the core and then we'll add a chest shoulder press. One thing at a time. Hips at the front edge of your chair. Feet ahead of your knees. You could cradle that, jog one hand on the handle, one hand underneath, or if it feels fine, both hands on the handle. But tuck your tailbone under. Lean back, pull your navel in and lean until your shoulder blades perhaps tap the chair back. Now we're just going to slide forward, back in a small range of motion, where you feel the resistance on your abdominals. A lot of people ask, well, what can I do for my lower abs? The rectus abdominis, or some people call it a six-pack, is one muscle group that's all connected with some intramuscular bands of connective tissue, making those sections look different. And they attach all the way from the hips and the pubic bone up to the rib cage. So you're working all of it. Now if you want, you could try leaning back and doing a chest press. If you want, you could put them together. So, sliding back, bringing the weight close to the chest, pulling the navel in, doing your best. I have to cradle that. I feel like it's hurting my wrist a little. Now this is more comfortable. So you make accommodations that work best for you. And since I did it with that arm, I'm going to give the other arm a try at it too. But there's no rule, remember, that says you have to do the same work on your left side as your right. It may not be appropriate. Just do your best and then take a rest. Woo! Man, oh man, I'm ready for another hydration break. Please, you at home as well, step to the side, lean to the side. All right, well, I have a 24-ounce bottle here, and my goal is to, before class, during class, and immediately after, is to drink the whole 24 ounces. On a day like today, I've already drank at least 48 ounces because I was going in and out of the house and working outside. And even with a nice shade hat and cool clothing, I was sweating a lot, so I had to replenish and rehydrate. Well, as you can tell from the change in the music, we're going to slow down on purpose. Taking our time, getting our breathing under control first. And for that, if you want to sit back and support your spine on your seat back and rest your arms or hands and the weight of your arms in your lap. And start to either soften your gaze and look at the floor or close your eyes, whatever you're more comfortable with. Start to mindfully slow your breath, breathing in ideally through your nose and out effortlessly through your mouth as if you're blowing through a tiny coffee straw, those little stirrers, which I hope you don't use anymore. Breathe in, slow your breath, exhale. Take your time, perhaps a couple more breaths, energizing and relaxing at the same time at your own pace. Now we've got our heart rate down slightly and our respiratory rate down slightly. We're going to continue to breathe as we turn sideways in our chair for this seated quadricep and hip flexor or iliopsoas stretch. It's best to hinge forward to help that left leg go back slowly. And it's best to sit tall and let the weight of that left knee drift toward the floor and the crown of the head drift up. If your shoulder permits, breathe in like you're smelling your favorite flowers. Exhale and sort of stretch through the side of your left torso, the left side of your torso, as you lean toward the chair back. And breathe deeply here. As the ribs and the chest expand, you can feel that stretch develop a little. Let's stay here with the crown of the head pointing straight up and very gently, carefully rotate as we exhale. Slowly starting from the tailbone and looking perhaps behind us. And then inhaling. Again, developing that stretch and stretching our eyeballs or our neck just a wee bit further, never to a point of pain. Exhale and unwind. With our cervical vertebrae, the neck especially, we want to be a little bit more cautious and move slowly. So, turning our body to the left side, hinging forward, easing that right leg back. You can have your toe relaxed, ankle relaxed, pointing behind you, or if it suits you better, you can have it tucked under. I prefer this way for me. As you sit tall and breathe in, let the weight of the right knee drift down, opening the front of your hip, and let the crown of your head drift up as you inhale. If it's comfy for you and your spine, opening to a gentle arch. If it hurts your shoulder, you can bring it in, shortening that lever, comforting it. And then exhale and lean, stretching through the right side of the torso. Deep inhale here. And exhale out. Tallest version of your seated spine. Keeping that nice verticality, gently, slowly rotate to look behind you as you exhale. Here, shoulders relaxing down, crown of head drifting up. Take a deep belly breath into your ribs and chest. Feel that stretch develop. And if you like, you can stretch your eyes to look just a wee bit more, or your neck over your shoulder. And exhale and unwind. Oh, that felt good. All right. I've been working in the garden a lot. I bet you've been out working on your yard if you're able also. And I feel a lot of stress here, as well as in my forearms from gripping the hand tools. One thing we could do is get a stretch for those muscles. Inhale, open your hands wide. Stretch your fingertips back and feel a good stretch on those forearm muscles. And then continue opening chest, shoulders. Lifting, exhale. And interlace those fingers, tuck the tailbone under, drawing chin towards your chest. Let's do one more deep inhale, and this time, opening the fingers back, opening the forearms and the shoulders and the chest. Latch onto your chair with your hips close to the front edge of the chair. Lean forward. Make sure all four chair legs stay on the floor. Breathe and extend your spine in a long, strong diagonal. And as you exhale, try leaning one ear toward the other shoulder, or left ear to left shoulder. Breathe deep to develop that nice, gentle trapezius stretch. And if you want, you can stay here and gently just trace a slow half circle with your head. You could pause in the middle if you like. Back is nice and long from the tailbone to the neck, and then just the neck is using the weight of the head to lengthen the back of the neck. Continue with your half circle until you've got your right ear over your right shoulder. Take a deep breath here. Oh, that's a good stretch. I like it. If you don't like some of the exercises and stretches that I suggest, you should know quite a few by now. Please substitute ones that you could do that suit your body's needs. So, all right, as we close, this show might air pretty close to Memorial Day, or probably Tuesday, which is June 1st, which happens to be my birthday. And so I have a request. For my birthday, I want you to keep on exercising. Find out where other opportunities are to be together in person if you're fully vaccinated, because the socialization is really important too. And what I said about the plastic straws, if there's one little tiny thing you can do for our environment, please do that. This pandemic brought a lot of things to the surface. And one thing that's always been a passion of mine is the eco-friendliness of the human animal to our planet Earth. So everything's interrelated, and if we all use just a little bit less energy, we reduce our carbon footprint, then everyone else on the planet will be able to live healthier, stronger, including those other species. Okay, well, so I hope you are staying safe and simple, or keeping it safe and simple. So until later, and I hope it's sooner. Bye for now.